Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great and welcome to your daily updates on Ethereum. We'll talk about everything you need to know over the course of today. We have some major news coming out today, which I think you need to know about. So at least stay for that part of the video. And we'll talk about the general technicals right here for Ethereum. So far, so good. I mean, yesterday we already saw some early signs of bullish momentum, but we also knew that Ethereum was very dependent on Bitcoin, right? I mean, what you can see at this point of time is that Ethereum has a correlation to Bitcoin of 87.3%, which is extremely high, first of all, right? So that means that whatever Bitcoin does, Ethereum will most likely do the same. But then outside of that, that's also mildly bearish, right? I mean, if you look at every time that Ethereum was actually very, very strong in the last 6-7 months, the correlation actually decreased, all right? Ethereum started to move on its own. And that is still, talking about the fundamentals for Ethereum right now, that is still not going on right now. We had a bit of a move up to the upsides on ETH BTC over the course of the Asian session. The Asian session was quite good actually today, which is a good sign because that was also one of the key sessions that was buying up Ethereum. However, it's like ETH BTC is still in a downtrend, right? So yes, we've seen some good early signs, and that's also why I think Ethereum can rally up higher here. I mean, yesterday I already told you, okay, we have gotten a strong reaction right here from the range low. The range low is around 3,780, let's be precise. And we were able to get a relatively high volume, or at least a relatively strong move across the markets, also for Bitcoin, which, like I said, matters a lot. Above the point of control right here, we left some fair value gaps, and we've been able to get good reactions of those, on those fair value gaps, on those imbalances we left. And then, like I said, over the course of this Asian session, we actually got some momentum. So then we're talking about, 3-4 hours ago, and we're testing that right now. But based on the fundamentals around the markets are actually not too bad. Based on Bitcoin has a pretty, constructive bullish structure as well. And based on just, Ethereum being able to, with relatively high volume, break above the 7-day rolling VWAP, break above this point of control, find resistance at this other point of control, basically 2 high liquidity zones. This looks quite good, all right? This looks good enough for me to say that, okay, the wider structure since the crash we had Friday the 10th of October is a consolidation. We got a bounce from the bottom of the consolidation, and right now, at least everything is pointing towards being able to get up to the top of the consolidation range, right? So that is what I think is most likely as well, that maybe we'll fill some more of those imbalances, but that from there we will be able to rally into 4,100 and 4,200. And look, what I've told you over the course of the last week is okay, that's a major resistance level. Ultimately, we need to break above 4,100 and 4,200 if we actually want to rally, if we want to have some sort of a major move. And talking about can Ethereum break out of that level? I think the answer to that generally is no. I think we need either a much stronger Bitcoin, which we have no indication of that right now, or we need Ethereum to outperform Bitcoin. And like I said, with ETH BTC and with the correlation, that is unlikely. Now, we do have some news coming out, all right? And that news could make us break out, but we need some very good data coming out because we have CPI and inflation rate data. The expectation is that it increases, but the real result and what matters is the actual result versus the consensus. So if the inflation rate is lower than expected, which is good data for crypto, then I think we have a chance to actually break out, especially on a low liquidity Friday, which was also one of the key reasons why we were able to crash that hard Friday the 10th of October. So in that instance, then we have a chance to actually break out. But the contrary is true as well. I mean, if the inflation rate is higher than expected, I still would think we would be able to get up to the top of the range, but then we will just stay in this consolidation range for, at least a couple of days longer. So those are my thoughts for now, and that's what I think you need to know over the course of today, also with the news. So hopefully it helps. But for now, thank you for watching, everybody. Take care, and bye.